We're
you know,
live.
so it's
We're
okay.
live. We're live.
It's real quick in there.
Hot start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Arrogance and Ales. I'm Fraz, he's JJ, that's Josh, and we have a special guest today. Special guest, please tell us who you are.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me. My name's Taylor Plusky. I'm the co-owner of Skygazer Brewing Company. We brew out of 12% Brewing in North Haven, and really happy to be here. Thanks for having me on.
So before I start, I always go through everything. Taylor, is we talk about here, we do beer reviews, we do beer news, and then we mostly talk about you and your, struggles or way you got through our industry, because we're industry people and we like to navel gaze. So before I start that, I still want to know one thing. Do you still eat, sleep, breathe,
Hold on.
Cumulus?
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you still eat, sleep, and breathe Cumulus lupulus?
Oh man, I remember writing that a long time ago. Yes, the answer is yes.
I thought you'd appreciate the old school callback.
Yeah, that was clutch. I like that.
Nice. We do research every once in a while, people. Once in a while. So why don't we start where we always start, with what we're sipping on? And JJ, why don't you start us off, please?
I'm starting off with the Lagavulin barrel aged JW. There's JW Lee's barley wine aged in Lagavulin barrels. It's a 2016. Brendan was on last week. We just got these beers in this week. I'm not a huge peaty Scotch fan, but I like to understand it and taste it and understand how it affects the beer. Just enjoy the different profiles that it brings. I want to understand it. That's all. So let's give it a shot.
Got just over 9,500 check-ins, a 3.87 for a English barley wine.
You can smell this peaty Scotch for sure. It has raisins, plums, a lot of like dark pruny fruits. It's definitely going to be peaty. I can tell this by the aroma for sure. So you really need to like peaty Scotches. I mean, you need to enjoy. So I feel like if you enjoy Wild Brett that maybe has that horse blanket, you know what I mean? That horse blanket or that medicinal or band-aidy kind of flavor. If you enjoy that in a wild sour, you would love a peaty Scotch. They kind of go together. They kind of are in a similar family, I think. And definitely has a lot of that peaty.
Wish more people knew about JW Lee's. So underrated, and you don't hear it thrown around that much in these parts, but that's awesome to see you drinking one.
Wasn't somebody drinking like a 20-year-old the other day?
Yeah.
We had Brendan on from Be United, and he was talking about drinking a 20-year-old one. And he was like, "Man, it just sings." And I was talking about drinking a 5-year-old one, and I was like, "Man, I really dug that beer." And I have a 2012 somewhere in my basement, with my crates and crates of beer, is a 12 that I have to go get. I have to go find.
Yeah, I would love to try a 20-year-old. That beer probably has changed so much. It's not even funny.
We just got in 2002 straight up harvest barley wine. So that's 19 years old.
Yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, how long it sat prior to that too, if it was barrel aged.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Beer Collective down in New Haven. I don't know if any of you guys have been there. I'm assuming probably. They had a nice cellar program, sort of like in small font written on the bottom of their menu. It said, "Ask our staff about our cellar program." So I asked, I said, "Hey, what do you got?" They brought out this like portfolio of an entire catalog of JW Lee's beers, including Harvest from like 2014 up through 2019. And I offered one up to a buddy of mine who had never had a JW before, and he just had never tasted anything like it. It's like it's an experience in itself.
Yeah, for sure. And the Lagavulin just adds a totally different dimension to it. And if you are a PD Scotch lover, you got to seek this beer out.
Yeah.
In our area, we have a bar in Philly called Monks, and they have just a vintage tap list that, I mean, like a vintage bottle list that just puts like collectors to shame. Like, it's just amazing. Every time you go there, you're like, what? Yeah, okay, I'll take this 15-year-old Russian, what? Like, huh? Like, just all the time. And it's just like, oh yeah, it's just there on the menu. And with that, Taylor, why don't you tell us what you're sipping on?
Yeah, and I feel lame in retrospect now because I'm drinking something that we had a hand in. But like I said, it's kind of a power move, I guess. I don't know. We have Flew for Two that we brewed up with the guys at Fat Orange Cat. It's like a dessert pastry style sour stout, 10%. Hit it with some strawberry peanut butter, big cacao flavor. I really cracked it tonight because I just wanted to see how the peanut butter is holding up, and I feel like it's coming through stronger than ever. So I'm going to sip slowly, let it warm up, and just enjoy it.
What did you use to get the peanut butter flavor infused?
Yeah, so it's a good question. When we were talking about the peanut butter, we said there's nothing worse than a peanut butter stout where you take the first sip and you're like, where's the peanut butter? I usually want it to be big and bold and in your face. You shouldn't have to search around for it. So we talked about, using extract that would really create that flavor profile. We talked about using peanuts, like smashed up peanuts that you suspend in the tank. We talked about actual peanut butter, and then we just decided on a roast peanut butter powder, which worked perfectly. Added it cold side and just let it sit and do its thing. Nothing fermented out. So it comes across real strong, really dessert-like peanut butter, not overly salty, just nice and sweet, chocolatey sort of peanut butter flavor.
Did you use PB2 or something else?
No, it's probably similar to PB2, but PB2 actually has I want to say like 2 grams of sugar per serving or something like that. So we were afraid of creating something that was too sweet. So we went with like a roast powder, which had that balance between the strawberry, the chocolate, and then the peanut butter. So it's not too overwhelming. Yeah.
PB2 is like too much. I feel like it tastes fake. I was never a huge fan.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the same thing. I was like, whenever any brewer tells me they use that, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to not like this peanut butter beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Because the way we do it on the show, just over 1,450 check-ins, 10% ABV, and a 4, 2, 3 on them.
Awesome.
All right. So, Josh, what are you sipping on, my friend?
Seltzer.
No.
Dude, do you remember that when I told you that though, Taylor?
Well, I listened to the last episode of this show.
Did you?
Yeah, before jumping on, and I had to listen.
Well, didn't I see you after that? Did I tell you how awful I felt after that day?
Oh yeah,
drinking all those fucking seltzers. Oh my god, dude. It was crazy. It was so bad. I'm drinking this Aeronaut Robot Crush Pilsner. Label's fucking dope. I've been seeing this just pop up all over kind of random package stores around New Haven area, and it's been really fucking good.
A light and fluffy Robo Pilsner, the 2016 gold medalist in the GABF. Classic Pilsner malts give a honey and hay notes. A sprinkling of citra hops lend a delicate bitterness and fine fruity aroma. Just over 4,400 check-ins, 5.1 ABV, 364. But Untapped don't understand Pilsner.
All right.
Yeah, it's super fluffy. I actually didn't even realize there was citra in here, but that kind of makes sense. Just crisp, a little sweet, nice, dry kind of citrus finish. Been digging it. It's
nice.
Like the 3rd 4-pack I picked up, and I keep seeing it. I'm just like, oh, that was really fucking good.
I was actually talking to Josh and Joe from Abomination last weekend when we met up, and we were talking about the 2 ways that you rate Untapped beers and kind of trying to figure out what's the right answer. And there's people who rate it based on how much they like it versus people who rate it based on it achieving what it says it is, which is what I lean towards. So to see a good Pilsner coming in at a 3.6 just It makes no sense to me. I wish people would kind of reevaluate how they rated beers, but I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't have any other system to use, kids. I don't got nothing else. I need something to help them. All right. So what I'm sipping on, I will let our guests choose. Which one would you like me to try first?
What are the
It's gotta
bottom
be
two?
Taylor here.
Oh, okay. You want me? So I have your boba watercolors, and then I have a black lager from Strong Rope Brewing in New York City, and what you just drank.
Wait,
Yeah.
New York City. Hold on. Where are they though?
Hold on. Let me
You
look
can't
exact-
just say New York City and not say
It's-
where they are.
It doesn't
That's
say.
what it
Hold on.
says.
It literally. No, it just says Brooklyn. Sorry, Brooklyn,
There
and
you
it
go.
is made with
Okay, there we go.
100%
I figured.
New York ingredients.
Nice. Yeah. My vote would be
Oh, wow.
for the strong rope.
Okay. Strong Rope. We call this one Embrace the Black.
I've been noticing a lot of people are looking for black lagers. I
It's the next big thing.
The black
don't know if
IPA
it's worth putting in a
the black
can. but-
IPA phase needed to go away. It went away as fast as it came. Thank God. Do you remember when that happened? Like, for some
There was,
reason,
like-
black IPAs went really hot for like a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, but nobody knew how to make them, and they were just dumping like fucking coffee into them and shit. Like,
All right, no. So I'm dumb. I'm dumb, and I read the fucking can wrong. It's a stout.
no.
But it's a.
Oh wait,
it's
is it a black stout?
Yeah, it's a black stout, and that's why I'm an idiot.
Get the hell out.
Yeah, I am. Listen, it's a foreign stout. I just fucking read it. I thought I was definitely buying
Have
a
you
black.
even been drinking yet? Like, come on. What's
Man,
going
you know
on?
what?
Yeah. What's
I'm
that
a-
9 a.m. business you were talking about before?
God, yeah, honestly,
9 a.m. He's
honestly.
stone cold sober now. Can't do this.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean,
Tolerance is so high.
we're pot committed for the foreign export stout. They love untapped descriptions as much as Josh when he doesn't write one, because there is no description of this beer. It is 195 check-ins and 6.3% ABV, a 3.8.
Before you drink that,
Wow.
when I see a stout at 6.3%,
Mhm.
6.8, whatever it is, I automatically mentally go, eh. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It
why.
looked like a 6.3 when he was pouring it.
It actually looks pretty nice.
It looks it looks thin though. You could tell the top layer was like brown when it was coming through. You could just see right through it. But
I'm surprised it's an
Not hating.
export stout, not an export lager. At 3.6.
I bet they just wanted to call it a stout because this is a lager.
I mean, it looks
It's
black as
tasty.
shit in the glass at that point, but
Nah, it's. But here's the thing.
no
Better
lacing.
than, it's better than any Guinness I've drank. Like, well, okay, other than real Guinness. I mean, like
outside,
regular.
like in Ireland.
Uh-uh, uh-uh.
Well, how's the Guinness now that they brew it in what, Maryland?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Baltimore, right?
Is that different?
They actually have they have a barrel aging program there. That's pretty decent.
interesting.
They do one-off releases that I know. I think the like GM of the whole beer program, and he posts stuff that I'm like, what? Guinness is putting that out. They put out some hazies. I don't know how they are.
I could actually get somebody on from them. We're pretty I'm pretty close with some of the guys there, and they have a really cool barrel aging program there. They're kind of Americanizing Guinness, if you will, into our culture of drinking beer, which is pretty cool. You know, in Ireland, how many barrel aged Irish stouts are there? You know,
Well, that are exported, probably not many,
right?
but that stay there, probably
Yeah,
a decent amount because there's a lot of barrels. You know,
I'll tell you what. The
no, I'm
history,
not even being a dick. I'm saying just
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're- it's probably a small, but people don't drink beer like Americans elsewhere either. Like it's just starting to get into just UK, Europe in general. They're starting to get a lot of hazies. We just sent a bunch of stuff out there. We sent some fogs out there.
Nice.
But they're definitely like 20 years behind. It's the same as like Cali was on the East Coast, New England, all that shit was they're catching up now to what New England's been doing. So now the rest of the world's catching up to what Cali was doing.
But don't you
So-
think a lot of it is just reluctance, Josh?
Yeah, for sure. Especially places that have history,
Yeah.
you know, hundreds and hundreds of years of drinking history. They're not willing to just dump lactose into everything.
Is that a
Well,
dig?
We'll
Is that a
get,
dig?
we'll get there.
But what about, what, is it Buxton? What about Buxton?
Yeah.
I mean, Buxton, they do
what about 'em?
they do all the massively crazy Omnipolo stouts. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Really?
and then where do they send them?
not to the States.
America.
Well, they send a
No.
lot of it here. They were.
Mhm. I mean, not anywhere comparable. I actually looked up the numbers one time because I was so mad that I had to like go to England to go get one of them. Like I had
I
one
mean,
of
you
my
don't think
buddies.
there was a
from-
reason that like Omnipoyo went from there and came here and started brewing?
Well, okay, yeah, but what I say, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But what I'm saying is that they may not have made that many of them.
I think there's a market for it, and just be there's one brewery that does it, but
yeah,
think now, you know what? Three Floyd's Tired Hands. Who is the other one? They have a spot out there. I forget what the hell it's called. So it's gaining momentum, and that's just where it's gonna go. And I think in probably like 50 years, we're just gonna be drinking Crispy Boys, guys.
Yeah.
That's it.
All gonna go away.
Cycle.
It's all gonna go away.
It's the cycle.
But for now, let's make fucking boba tea beer. Let's go.
We got to start to diversify real quick.
Let's fucking do it.
Yeah, we had somebody tagged us on Instagram today with boba, and they said, "I can't believe this qualifies as beer. What a time to be alive!" And I was like, I'm not sure if they're hating on it or if they're loving it. Like, I really
Are
don't
you
even know.
mad or are you happy?
Yeah,
That's great. Were they drinking like, have you had, how many people are drinking boba tea like next to that now? Because I noticed that won't put out desserts or shit that's like replicating something. People are just like, just it's overindulging. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hope you didn't just sit there and do all of that in one sitting.
it is crazy. If you ever watch videos on how they make like boba tea or bubble tea, the amount of sugar that goes into it, it's pretty crazy. So thankfully the beer is nowhere near that level, but people complained it wasn't as sweet as bubble tea. And I'm like, I don't think you really want that. We're going to keep it more of a sour, but we'll see about going forward.
It is crazy though how the palate is like. There's people that lean to healthy beverages, and that's why seltzers are so hot. And then you got the other half that are over here. They want all the sugar. Give me freaking 100 grams of sugar in my freaking beer. I don't care. You know.
Yep. I don't think a lot of people even really realize the amount of sugar that's in some of these, whether it's
Yeah.
through just unfermented sugar or the added sugar. I don't even think they really realize.
I'll tell you
But-
what. In our cider section at the store, when I have somebody asking questions about cider, I right away I go to sugar content, because that's where you can tell where they lie in ciders. I kind of think beers. I know, Josh, you don't want to hear this, but maybe beer should
Sure, Tyler
start
doesn't
doing
either.
Yeah, maybe they should start putting grams of sugar in beers. I don't know. No.
I mean, if Luscious ever gets made, it says it right on that shit. And you guys know how much what the hell is the other one? Smooge is
Oh,
selling. People don't give a fuck. It says
Huh?
it on the cans. Like 32 grams added sugar.
Absolutely.
Fucking no one cares.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. They're going to
Yeah.
20 years from now.
But if everybody just
But-
maintains that moderation is everything approach, then it shouldn't be that big a deal. You know, you
We
shouldn't
don't
have.
do that here. We don't do that here.
All right,
But
somebody get this guy
realistically, how
4
many
bobas.
grams of right in a row? Do it. You know, the same thing goes for a regular smoothie though. That shit has how much sugar?
Yeah.
It's really nothing different than we as Americans have been overindulging on for
Yeah,
Oh,
additives
80
and
years
corn
of this
syrup.
one.
And,
liter of Coke a day for some people. I mean, seriously.
yeah,
yeah, that's yeah.
All right,
There was
so-
cocaine in it back in the day.
Well, since we've talked about it so much, I might as well, before I start the news, do the Boba Bliss mango.
Pour slowly.
Okay.
Shotgun it.
Yeah, give it
No,
an
we should have
angled
a
pour.
shotgun episode. We really should.
We did on New Year's. We had everybody shotgun a fuck 2020.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you were there,
That's cool.
JJ. Were you there too, Taylor?
No,
Yeah.
I remember watching though. I'm not that cool. I don't know if I was invited.
Woo! Look at that.
That's straight juice.
Yeah. It looks
The
like
head.
Sunny D kind of.
I
Guys,
feel like the head's more yellow than it was before. Right? I feel like on draft the head was still kind of white. Maybe that's why.
would you like to do the description?
Oh man.
I can do it.
I mean, yeah, I'll give you something quick. It's all mango. It really is. So we've used a lot of mango in beers before, and mango is a pretty thick and pulpy product to use. But with the addition of the cream, it just really draws out this huge mango flavor, and like a sweetness, creaminess on the back end. It's really different. But we love it, and we're really happy with how it came out.
All right. So people on the show know I'm not a fan of sours. I really like this beer. Now,
Cool.
sorry, that may say something that it's not supposed to, but this is exactly what I was. Yeah, the head is just holding too. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that head
Yeah, I
won't
mean,
dissipate.
I don't think that beer was sour. I think it was pretty much mango.
Yeah, you're right. It's not puckery, really.
So we use lactobacillus in there to sour.
It's got a little tartness, but it's like the fruit.
Yeah, James. It's a kettle sour, probably down in the 3.4, 3.3 range. So nothing too acidic. It's not going to take the enamel off your teeth.
That's the pH scale for everybody who's watching. All
Yeah.
two people. Anyway, I can't handle anything under 3. I just don't. It just ruins my palate. And, there's some sours out there that run in that 2 range that are just ridiculous.
Yeah. OEC makes some awesome beers, but they're definitely, maybe not beneath 3. But not even from a palate perspective. Sometimes just in your gut later, you just have that acidic feeling that just lingers around. And you just can't sit around at a share and have too many of those in a row.
There's a local brewery that makes unbelievably awesome sours called Free Will Brewing, and they do a sour day, and they do, rip your enamel sours, and literally there's antacids in bowls on the bars.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Like what? But
We used to go to shares and they would do that.
why do that? Like why do that? Like, why?
I can't
Every
do it
share.
anymore. I've ruined my body from beer. So now I drink one of those. I have one sip. I'm like, yeah, I would have fucking loved this like 8 years ago. Now I have permanent heartburn. So that's great.
Permanent heartburn.
Just it's one sip, just fucking done. I
Never
never got
goes away.
heartburn before.
Really?
Yeah.
Forever. Yeah, it's insane.
I will also say I'm once again using the AC beer glass and hard work, and that paid off. We are going to be the only non-regional podcast there at AC Beer Festival. And coming up in the next week or two, we're going to have a couple tickets to give away free for people too.
Check it out. Hey, by
Find
the way,
out.
smash the subscribe button, hit the like, leave a comment. It all matters.
It's what matters to JJ. What matters to JJ. It gets lonely out there in the streets. It's lonely. So I think now it's time for us to start with what's in the news.
Oh boy, what's in the news?
From the wacky world of 2021 off-premise trends, IPAs are down, but gain share, and there's a package shift on the horizon. The mighty IPAs couldn't keep up with last year's pantry loading period during the off-premise. March 2021 was a real downer for Nielsen. Scans with total craft dollars just under 8%, and IPAs down just over 3%. They haven't seen a negative number in quite some time like this. They go on to like this whole rigmarole, but it's interesting to see what did grow. So sour ales since last year have been up 20, almost 23.5%. That's amazing to me. And then there's sorted seasonals are the ones that took the beating, down 8%. Even lagers lost. And I just want to know, what do we think about that?
I just had a conversation with one of the major breweries today about the pantry loading, and they saw a major dip in their domestic lagers because people were pantry loading bigger items, right? So it was the Miller Lite, the Bud, the Coors. They were pantry loading that stuff. There wasn't a lot of pantry loading, I didn't feel, in craft. There was, but there was a lot more in the domestic side. I felt like, and then going, after we were shut down, we weren't shut down, but after everything shut down, I felt like craft picked up. So I don't know what to say.
I just quickly, I Googled what pantry loading meant. I had never heard that before, but it makes total sense now that I think about it. Yeah, we kind of have an interesting story with what transpired with our brewery when COVID really started to hit. We switched to a full online model, and we sold beer faster than ever when people couldn't come and hang out at the brewery and try samples and whatnot. We would sell out a beer in a minute online, literally 1 to 2 minutes. It was the craziest thing we had ever experienced. It kind of, I think, changed the course of our brewery forever.
So it was beneficial for you?
Yeah, it was. It was mostly out of precaution for our customers and our safety at the time. So we wanted to prevent queuing and lines from forming. So we switched to this online platform where people from further away could suddenly be guaranteed their beer instead of having to worry, am I going to take this hour drive and get there and it's all going to be sold out? They could secure it from wherever they were. So it worked out really well. Unfortunately, a lot of local people who are like our regulars at the time were getting, they were not fast enough, or they weren't clicking through the cart screen fast enough. So they were missing the beer. So we were making some people happy and kind of upsetting other people at the same time. But I think that helped kind of put our brewery on a much bigger radar for people.
But it also helped your demand. I mean, if people are having a hard time getting it because there's more demand, that helps your brewery.
Yeah.
But we did the same thing at the store. We went curbside for like, I'm telling you, it was like 10 weeks. We did it through our app and website, and everybody had to order through the app and the website. And I was outside in the parking lot teaching 65-year-old men and women how to use an app. It was insane.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be extremely beneficial for us. And anybody who was able to transform their business in the drop of a dime during the pandemic really benefited.
Yeah, you have to remember those numbers are craft, including Sam Adams, Dogfish Head, Yingling, the big guys that are eating up 50% of the craft market. So the people that flourished and made a lot of money off of this were the people that were able to pivot and, on the drop of a dime, do something different, deliver and do online ordering, which is a lot easier when you're a smaller business versus Sam Adams, who's got fucking 800 barrels they're trying to sell out in a day,
Yeah.
Taylor, did you have an online platform set up prior to COVID?
No.
So you did it on the fly.
Yeah. So I think over the course of a weekend, I got it up and running because we just decided we got to pull the trigger on this now. So it took about a weekend. We did some testing and fine tuning, make sure all of our inventory numbers were right. And then the day that we launched it, when it sold out in about a minute, I was actually, shitting my pants because I was like, fuck, I didn't put the numbers in right. I got the inventory numbers all wrong. There's no way we sold out that fast. And then as I looked things through, I was like, yeah, we really did. So Josh is right. Being small as we were, we were just operating out of a 5-barrel, warehouse or a garage practically. So our agility was really high. But for bigger companies, yeah, not an easy move at all, especially when you have, national distribution.
Well, I can tell you this: at our store, if I didn't have the app and the website set up prior to the pandemic, I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I got to stay on top of it too. But I also want to kind of go back to the point about sours and their sort of market share increasing by, I think you said 20%.
22.
Yeah, it's pretty wild because Untapped this past year did a collaboration recipe, which is basically like here's our base sour, put your spin on it and put it out there. Try to incorporate some ingredients from some local spots around you. But their whole reasoning behind it was that sours have become the highest checked in beers on Untapped and have by far the highest ratings of all the different styles. And, it kind of makes you think for a second. Is fruit in these types of beer just a cheat code, really? If you think back to when like Treehouse and Bissell and Tired Hands and Monkish were just kind of starting to do hazy stuff, those guys were way ahead of the curve, and it took a long time to perfect those types of recipes. Whereas now you just kettle something, throw a bunch of fruit in it, and you're good to go. So you see this massive influx in breweries that are almost spearheading their entire business just on sours, and then they get the foothold they need, and then they start to diversify into different stuff. So it's like sours are leading the way, but how long is this going to last?
Well, I mean, I just talked to the guy from Connecticut Valley this week, Connecticut Valley Brewing up
Yep.
You guys.
Yep.
Sours are leading their way.
Yep.
100% leading their way. And
They have some line. What are they known for?
it's the smoothie line.
Didn't they have something
a smoothie.
back in the day that like a
Trailblazer.
few years?
Oh, Trailblazer, yeah.
Trailblazer put them on the map. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they're
good.
I remember there was some beer that was all over PA.
Their sours right now are just killing it, and the brewers don't really like it, because like you said, it's the cheat code, right? You just add some fruit, kettle sour, add some fruit, and it's kind of not artistic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people want it, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know. And what I worry about is it's brought a lot of new people into craft because they're drinking this stuff and they're like, holy shit, this is beer. I never knew beer tasted like this. Well, the answer is it didn't for a long time, and it may not going forward after a certain amount of time. Like, I don't know if these crazy sours are here to stay, and I also worry about the loyalty of those types of drinkers to craft beer. Are they just following the trend? Are they going to jump over to the smooge thing next, and then after smooge, what comes after that? You wonder about their dedication to like a craft product. Where are they going, Josh?
Josh. I was going to say one of you guys' stablemates, Nightmare, for when they launched, at least in our part of the state, or in our state in PA, they were sour. I think we got 4 sours before they even came with like, oh yeah, hey, by the way, we also make a pretty damn good IPA. Like, here you go, try this. It was like, oh, I mean, I even had people were like, well, do I want an IPA from them?
Yeah.
What?
Their sours aren't even cheat code sours.
Their
re-ferment them?
IPAs are fantastic.
Yeah, they're quad
Some
IPAs.
of their quad IPAs are like cheat code IPAs for sure.
Yeah.
All of it is just, it's all cheat codes.
Do you
It's
know
just dumb shit post fermentation?
their packaging, their labels on their cans before they fired that dude were selling their product as well. After they changed their labels, it kind of fell off a little. And
I mean,
their spot in the industry or the beer itself?
No, the beer itself was fine. It's just the spot in the industry on the shelf, sell-throughs, pools just weren't as good.
I think that mishap had a bigger impact on their business than they may have realized.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
The
we
combination
also
of the labels and that incident.
Yeah, and to be fair, that incident had nothing to do with them. The artist did that independently on his own.
Yeah.
But that was a reflection in some way of a connection to him and Nightmare, which is just unfortunate.
Yeah.
agreed
Yeah.
because they're awesome beers.
Yep.
I'm a big fan.
Yep. Yeah.
All
I
right,
had
so-
Soror Side last weekend. Beautiful beer. Sorry, man.
No, please. So once again, we've stepped all over topic number 2, but we'll still finish with topic number 1, which is, all right, can we guess? And we're not going to use JJ, who actually does this for a living. So we're going to use Josh because Taylor seems the most sober. Josh, what size
That's nice, man.
package? Because it's you and me usually, bro. Was the what size package grew the most over the pandemic and currently is growing at an even higher rate of sale right now?
12-pack.
Smaller.
No way. 4.
4-pack, 16-ounce is the largest
Oh,
grower.
wow.
JJ, would have you said that?
Yeah, I mean, I look at our numbers and I track it by class. I have everything separated by class. So I have singles, 4-packs, 6-packs, 8-packs, 9-packs, 12-packs. I track all the packages, and 4-packs are just through the roof.
Well, I feel like 12-packs only sell during the summer. Those 12-ounce cans, 12-packs. And because that's what, so you don't see them. Now you go into a shop, everywhere's got mixed 12-packs, variety packs, because it's nice weather. That's when you want to roll up. It's easy to carry. It's in a cardboard package. So I think year round, everybody's scooping up. We're also in a weird fucking year right now.
Yeah. But think about it. 12-packs are a pretty established number. They're a mature number, and where 4-pack 16-ounce cans aren't as mature. So, you would think
PackTex though.
Yeah.
PackTex changed the whole industry.
Yeah. Agreed. But it's so funny that you say that. And then I have breweries and large divisions come in and like marketing people come in and just tell us that the highest rate of sales they get is when they go from a PackTech to a wrapped 4-pack or a wrapped 6-pack, so 12-ounce. They're like, you have no idea the sales difference. Then nothing's different. Nothing's different than when we do that.
Interesting.
Do you think that's why 3
Canarchy.
Floyd went that route?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Canarchy showed us numbers that were like, this is the industry when you have it normal and when you wrap it in 4-packs, and they're like, these are the numbers we expected. And then they showed us the numbers after a year and it was like even better.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because the owner at 2SP was in maybe a year or two ago, and he's like, hey, what can we do? What can we do to freshen up the product? What can we do? I said, get rid of the PackTech and go with a cardboard pack, look professional.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that that's going to help you a ton. And they never did it, but you're right. As soon as they make that move, Funk just made that move. Citrus, Silent Disco, all of their packages are now in cardboard 4-packs.
Yeah, it stands out. I mean, when you see 3 Floyds among all these just PackTech cans, it looks more professional for sure. I know Fat Orange Cat did it at when they were brewing at 2 Roads for a minute. We never got that option. It's fine.
Toppling Goliath too.
Yeah, Toppling Goliath. Yeah, it definitely stands out. Have I ever bought those though? I'm like, no, that shit's probably sat on the shelf for longer than these PackTech 4-packs or 6-packs, though. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's from somebody in the industry. I don't know what people think when they see it on the shelf.
Yeah, that's true. When I ran into a local packy 6 months ago and I saw some Pseudo Sue sitting on the shelf and just it being wrapped like that, I was like, well, I haven't seen that. Whenever they started to distro in Connecticut, I was like, maybe if that was in a PackTech, I wouldn't have picked it up. But it just looked so nice in that with their
So it got
dinosaur,
you.
yeah, it got me. So I was like,
Be a
damn, this is a
verse.
good buy. Yeah.
Yeah, packaging means a ton. Man.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. And now if you think about it, because we saw in CT, there's it's either the 12% Beer Project fan page or CT Beer Drinkers Facebook groups. I forget which one, but somebody was trying to make the point that when they go to the package store now, there's too many colors, too many cans, too much of everything. Now it's like, how do you stand apart in that shelf? And something like, that cardboard packaging could be the way. It just looks different enough that you go for it.
100%, man. We have, if I think about this, we have about 180 feet of 4-pack shelving at the store with different random 16-ounce 4-packs. And when you're looking at it, it's like, I know what I'm looking at, but as from a consumer standpoint, it's overwhelming.
Yep. Yeah, I kind of understood the point that the guy was trying to make. But at the same time, I always look at it from the perspective of how much different craft beer is than, other, whether it's spirits or wine. In terms of branding, craft beer seems to be the most over the top and the most artistic, not limited to having to maintain a certain aesthetic. We just go all out. And I love that. So, you don't have to complain about everything. Just find something you like, take it home and shut your mouth.
Completely agree with that.
All right. Has anyone started a second beer?
I'm going to start one. I got the Archie stopped in the other day and handed me this. It's a Breakfast Epiphanies.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
It's
nice.
Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with coffee and maple sugar. It's in an 8-ounce can, by the way. Have you seen these 8-ounce cans from Free Will? Pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah, straight up the Red Bull can. I didn't know they were doing that.
Yeah.
Or no, didn't they do that for what's that one stout that they have?
Ralphie.
Didn't they put out
Ralphie.
variants in that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Right.
76 check-ins, so super rare, hype beast. And you are a 4.25. Looks good. Shut don't giggle.
Creamy.
425 hot beast.
Nice
Let me
mouthfeel.
change my lighting.
Don't get a lot of coffee, though. I'd like a little more coffee. But and the back, you can tell, like, it's not Ralphius. So it's like a lighter version of Ralphius, which I like. I like Ralphius. To me is like, when I'm going stouts, is probably one of the top 10 barrel aged stouts for me. This is like Ralphius light.
It looks thin.
13,
It's a little thin.
13.7. 13.7.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Ralphius is sitting at like 15 or 16, depending on the year, and it's probably boiled for 5 hours, and just thick as hell. It's awesome.
What are you laughing at, Fraz? That's like base boil time for me, boy.
I know. I know. That's what I was laughing. Yeah. Who are you just making fun of somebody who made their IPA with 50% oats, and you were like, that's like 4 hours, man.
Oh, we're talking to somebody about doing a collab, and they were like, "Oh yeah, what do you want to do? Like 6-7 hours?" I was like, "I don't know if you're joking or not, but like, yeah."
Yeah, we are now.
I was like, I don't know if you're like being
Thanks for the
sarcastic,
tip.
but yep, let's go.
I mean, I know modern times out west was doing like 15-hour boils.
Weldworks is doing a full 24-hour boil.
Yeah, they're probably double mashing and diluting it down a little bit, but the caramelization must be out of control.
It's ridiculous.
Sounds
I've heard a place doing like 36. It's like, come on. When I heard 5 hours the first time, I was like, no, are you fucking serious? And then, I mean, Midnight Snack is 5 hour.
Yeah, look what it does.
So like, if you start with,
We got something that's about to be 5 hour, Taylor,
I was saying
you
for
start
our
with
next dream beer.
gallons, you start with 100 gallons, you end up with like 10, right?
Yep.
See, he's like, yep. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, our next collab, we're only releasing, I think, 6 cans. Right? It's gonna start off at a 45 barrel batch, but
I didn't know. I didn't know
$75 a
12.
4-pack.
Yeah, I was just saying, no, 12% imports now does the little liquor bottles, the little 2-ounce shots like you get on an airplane.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
your beer, son.
It doesn't, all it says is abomination, X Skygazer. There's no other information.
By the way, I just want to interject. That is not my dog tonight.
Is that you, Taylor?
Not me.
Oh, Raz, what the fuck?
Listen, oh,
Dude.
it's nice out. My kid's playing outside. The dog doesn't like it. What can I say?
The dog
All
outside with you.
right. Damn, well, that's not my
Tie him
fault.
up together.
Yeah, I earned that one. I earned that one. I'll take that one. All right. I am going to drink for the love of God, Sherlock, a Watercolors Synergy 4. Would you like to explain this one, Taylor?
Yeah. So I had a beer by Hudson Valley 2 or 3 years ago that was inspired by a peach rings sort of flavor profile, and I always wanted to do one since then. So with these synergies, we actually designed them to be sort of served in pairs, and you blend the two of them together. One is more of like a berry sour, and the other is more of a tropical. So you get 2 different colors, and you just cuvee them. So yeah, apricot, mango, and a little bit of peach rings in there.
So when you sell the nanos, the 12 ounces, are they in like a variety 12, or do they come then still in the same?
Yeah, there's a single SKU, I guess we'll say. I would love to do a variety pack in the future, maybe once we get our
So,
volume.
just
up a little
so
bit.
all of you understand that are watching, all 2 people, a cuvee is a blend of beers, and anytime you see cuvee on a beer, it's typically a blend.
Yep. We had always wanted to do a blend with watercolors because the base beer is identical. It's the same every time, and we just hit it with different fruits or adjuncts after the fact. So it's not like, you think about blending an IPA and a stout, you get to something really weird. This is designed to sort of synergize. Really, it's not to talk the brand too much, but it's designed to complement one another. And I think that one goes along with the like a blue raz cheesecake and peach rings and cheesecake and a sour. It just works. I don't know how, but it ended up working.
So what you're saying is my other can of this I should keep till Synergy 5 comes, and then it would blend, or 5 and 6 are together?
5 and 6 will come. 3
Okay.
and 4 go together. Yeah, and we're going to start to make that more clear on the packaging so people kind of know what they're getting into.
By the way, it's fucking great.
Thank
It
you.
is just no problem. It is just over 1,700 check-ins. It's 5.5 ABV, a 4.33, otherwise as known as Abomination territory.
I know.
That sour fruited territory
Dude.
right there.
Damn if it don't taste like peach rings. Damn if it don't.
Yeah, I was so happy with how it came out.
Fuck. Yeah, me too.
But they're surprisingly crushable. You can have another one right after that, and you don't feel bogged down or bloated. It's not super thick.
No. And it's not, the acidity doesn't seem to rise to any point where I'm like, okay, one on the this is too much fruit burn.
Yep.
I'm good. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. This is awesome. And since I'm already, throwing all the hosannas and my panties on the stage, why don't you tell us, Taylor, how did you get into this business, please?
Oh man, I think I had probably been drinking craft beer through the introduction via family members or my father or uncles of mine. I want to say like 15, 16 years ago, maybe more. I'm 37 now, so I'm sure some people have been involved in drinking craft beer longer, but I kind of took to IPAs early on when it was like the bitterness wars for a little while. And then I ended up getting a homebrew kit, which was like an extract kit, all plastic buckets and carboys and just kind of learn from like a very fundamental level what it's like to go through that process of, carbing a beer and sanitizing, or what different flavors will give you, what hops will give you. And then just, got busy with work and life and things like that. And then about 4 years ago, a buddy of mine approached me and said, "Hey, I'm kind of getting into craft beer. Would you be interested in potentially going in on a venture with me?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So we brainstormed on a name and kind of landed on Skygazer, and started real small on a 5-barrel system in Southington, Connecticut. And it was really our kettle sour program that put us on the map. So I think we kind of timed it right when sours were really starting to take some of the market share from IPAs. And it's just been a crazy wild ride since then. And now we're down at 12%, brewing alongside guys like Josh and the other great brands down there. So we're loving it. It's awesome. Happy to be a part of the community.
Where do you see the game going? And please, the seltzer boy needs to be quiet. Well, other than the seltzies and the alcoholic teas and what other weird thing Josh wants to make me cry over, just stylistically, or do you think, like some people say that New England is not yet a settled style, that's why it shouldn't have a medal in JBF, even though it does, like hazy, I guess is the what do you think?
Yeah, I think hazies are here to stay forever. No matter how much the style evolves or simplifies or whatever. I think it's going to be here forever. It's earned that place. I think there's going to be a little bit of a pullback though. Whether it's you compare it to like an economic pullback or with a specific stock. You get so much people that run it up. Eventually, it becomes overvalued, and you get too many people on board.
Too many apes.
Say it again.
Too many apes.
Yeah, exactly. And another R word, which I'll refrain from using, that they love to throw around in those communities. But yeah, so I think there's going to be that pullback, and people are going to start to say, I got into craft beer when I was in my late 20s, early 30s. I can't keep drinking these super unhealthy big beers anymore. I want something a little bit more refreshing and crispy that's easy to grab and easy to drink. So I think sours are going to continue to get more crazy, but there's going to be a pullback, and people are going to look for a little bit more refined classic styles.
There's always a shift as generations and age groups move on, right? So these people who have traditionally drank New England's, they're going to start shifting to other stuff. And what is the new drinker going to be drinking? That's what happens, and it accelerates at a fast level. It really does.
Yeah. Especially now with social media, that has completely changed the whole landscape for many different markets, but especially beer. When you have things that trend and it shows you things that you may be interested in. Beer used to be primarily not a male focused, but a male dominated hobby, if you want to call it that. Now there's tons of women getting into it because of these approachable sours. So they're going to have a say in where the market goes too. So it should be really interesting.
I agree. I'm just always wondering, like, what am I going to drink in like 10 years from, like, I had a few of them when I ran a store who would just sort of be like, well, I like this one. This one is New England. And I was like, oh, okay. And then they would always let me like sample them out new stuff. And I'm just kind of in that headspace of like, man, in 10 years, what am I going to drink? Because I don't ever drink the same beer.
Yeah.
Other than Josh's. I mean, really. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of always on to the next one. And that is one of the things they find, that while a craft beer is very loyal to craft, they're not loyal to brands.
Yeah, that is definitely true right now. Even some brands that were blowing up and huge 4 or 5 years ago, you see newer breweries surpassing them in things like check-ins and Instagram followers. So it's really interesting. Loyalty worries me quite a bit. But I think before the hazies hit, nobody really saw that coming, and people didn't even take it seriously for a while. So when that next big shift happens, I don't think we're going to know until it's there. know, there was talk of like the Brute IPA, Brute like Champagne IPA for a little while. They said that was going to dethrone hazies, and
That was dumb.
that was
Got
dumb.
so
Yeah, real
got so close.
almost, almost.
It's
Um,
a
They
thing on
almost
the West
they
Coast.
almost had us, except they tasted like shit. I think that was the main problem. They should have chose something that tasted better.
yeah,
It's still a thing. It's still a thing on the West Coast. It just
Yeah, I'm sure it
But
is
adding-
because they're still.
What's
10
the
years back,
enzyme?
too.
What's the enzyme called that they add to lagers that they started adding to IPAs to call them brute? Wasn't there a
Yeah.
certain enzyme?
Oh,
Like
well, they were
the
using
amylase.
amylase. They were using, the amylase enzyme.
Like it's all been done before. It just was never done with an IPA. They were just trying to do something. It was stupid. It was freaking stupid.
yeah. It was to go against everything that the hazy was, which is like
Yeah.
super high carb, really dry, where the hazies were low carb, you know, it potentially like
I mean-
naturally carved, and then really sweet.
They were like a dry hopped French saison. Never like gave up on that shit.
Yeah. Well, I heard Cloudwater was sort of mixing things up a few weeks ago because they released a dry hopped saison or a double dry hopped hazy saison, and a bunch of people got up in arms about that.
Well, let me ask you a
They-
question. As
They
brewers-
liked it or hated it.
They hated it. Yeah, I think
well,
it's
as,
like
as brewers, isn't it hard to dry hop a saison because of the yeast esters and how they overtake the hops? I mean, isn't that hard?
Depends what you use.
yeah, true. Those are
There's
some of
so
the most
many
potent
juicy
yeasts.
hops now at this point that you can get stuff that definitely works with it. I don't think a lot of people want to use it. Those yeasts are expensive as hell. As a production brewer, I don't want to use that yeast to make something taste like a New England. I'll use yeast
you wanna
meant for a New England.
But don't you want a New
That's-
England? Don't you want a New England that has a benign yeast strain that doesn't have any ester, like any flavor profiles to it? Like, why would you want those yeast esters like the coriander or cardamom or the black pepper? Why would you want that in a New England? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think when there were a lot of brands coming up trying to reproduce what Treehouse and Monkish were doing, you had these like yeast bombs, just basically yeast still, you know, that hadn't settled out or they hadn't crashed it out. And that's not really what that style is to me. So I think you want something that amplifies whatever the hops are doing. Just draw all the hop aromatics out. I agree
know.
with you completely.
I know when I was home brewing, it was like it was at 05. It was you used the 05 yeast. It was bulletproof.
It's 04 now.
Yeah, US 05 is great.
Yeah.
Or L3.
Yeah.
And I am a monkey.
The correct
All right.
term is
You never asked me what I was drinking, but I'm drinking counterweight. It's fine.
Oh, is that
Probably don't even know what
Workhorse?
this is in Pennsylvania, you fucking losers. Yeah.
that workhorse.
Some Workhorse, delicious.
Yeah, that's a great.
Now,
Yeah.
let me give you the guy from Workhorse was in today, and I got to tell you.
No, not Workhorse from Pennsylvania.
No,
This is
no.
Counterweight's Workhorse.
Oh, okay.
Counterweight.
Alright.
Well, I think they're moving, but
yeah,
they were
Cheshire.
based-
They're up in Hamden now. Yeah, it was Matt Westfall from Nebco.
Oh yeah.
Who I actually went to high school with. I knew Matt as a kid. We used to hang around every once in a while. So he went to Nebco, then opened up Counterweight in Hamden, and they're blowing up. Between Workhorse Pilsner and Headway, they got to be in every package store, every restaurant in Connecticut easily.
Wow.
They're killing it right now.
Getting up there with that wandering in the fog. Yeah, they definitely. I see their shit literally every place I go. It's insane.
Yeah.
I love Workhorse. It's just a solid Pilsner to grab if I'm somewhere. It's probably going to be fresh. Everybody's drinking it. You don't got to worry about some shit sitting on the shelf.
Yep.
It's a German Pilsner, so I'm already out.
Mm.
Yeah, no.
Hater.
No.
Hater.
No,
It's not that bitter
No.
though. It's got a little bit of
Well-
a bite, but it's a nice, easy drinker.
if you are a Pilsner, you do not linger. That is a lager. No. No. No.
I mean,
Dude, the two greatest Pilsners of all time.
there's not enough
Pilsner
time to
Urquell
have this conversation.
and Presidente. That's it. That's the
I mean, a Pilsner is a lager.
yes, I know Pilsners have got. Just honestly, He's the ape.
Here we
I'm
go.
the arrogance. Come on.
Now there's gonna be
No.
black pilsners. Now there's gonna be
Ooh,
double dry hop black.
A black pilsner.
yeah. Can you cut that out of the segment, Josh? We need to
Yeah.
jump on that before.
Thank
somebody
Get
else
it off,
does.
right?
Stop the David.
Lactose or not, Taylor? What do you think?
Oh,
Oh,
all lactose.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh wow.
Oh, lactose.
A
Yeah.
Let's
lactose
replace the
pilsner.
grain with lactose.
yeah. Black
I'm not
pilsner with
sure how it's gonna
lactose,
work. It's gonna be
triple
terrible.
fruited.
Triple fruited.
You're bound
can't-
to win a GABF gold.
You guys don't even understand the shit that Taylor and I have in works right now. Like, you think this shit's ridiculous? The shit that's actually about to like drop is even more ridiculous.
Yo, wouldn't it be awesome to put out a beer that basically the name says this beer is totally fucking stupid?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love that.
Like make
Yeah.
fun of yourself, you know?
Not even beer. Call it like not even beer or something like that.
Oh, 100% though. There's a brand that says this is what is it now? One is beer flavored beer. One of the
I
local
just saw
brands.
that actually today.
Yeah, one of their local brands calls their beer store bought is fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Stickman's
Yeah.
awesome like that.
yeah, it's just hilarious. Like the names are just like, oh yeah,
Plain old chicken nuggets.
yeah.
Nice.
I
Yeah,
call
plain
Does
it.
old
it taste like chicken nuggets?
No, doesn't taste like chicken. I mean, come on. At least
What are you
back in the
saying
day-
no for like that? I mean, it could, dude.
No,
It
because
literally
I was,
could.
Wait. If you'd let me finish there, love.
Ooh, brewed
What was
by
it? Evil
KFC,
Twin?
like, flavor
Was it Evil
package.
Twin in Vale? Was it Evil Twin in Vale? Actually made that fried chicken beer. And it was a fried chicken IPA. Like,
That
I-
beer
I
didn't
think I
taste like
remember that.
fried chicken.
That wasn't that
That
Stillwater
beer
had that
didn't
one
taste
with
like fried chicken.
MSG.
They put dude, that's a good idea. Well, they did the Chinese
the
takeout
Chinese takeout
series.
series. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that tasted like the flavors it said it was going to taste like, though. Like they
yeah,
did.
exactly. I want a soy sauce. Sorry, Brian. If you ever watch this, I'm sure you won't, but just what I want, a soy sauce stout. Perfect.
So
I remember trying some of those beers straight from like coming out from Two Roads, and it was from that Chinese series. It was like Szechuan. I forget exactly what it was. Like, holy fuck, yeah, it tastes like that. Do I want to
Who was-
drink this?
who was
though?
brewing
I
those?
don't know.
Still,
Two Roads.
Stillwater,
So,
but
Oh,
he
yeah.
was brewing them at. Yeah, there was 4 of them. I forget exactly what they
and
were.
a big letter on the side of the can said contains MSG. Like
Oh my god.
I never saw that one. That's awesome though.
no, they all said that.
Bro.
They all said that.
That's so funny because that is such a funny thing to fucking go after too, because everybody's so hype about MSG being like bad for you or whatever, and it's like not actually even bad for you. So it'd be such a funny thing to just
yeah.
dump into
basically
a
going,
beer.
"Fuck
Yeah,
fuck you."
that's so great.
Stillwater did a seltzer last summer. It was dry hopped with Citra, I think. I bought a 4-pack of it in like the 12-ounce format. Not really knowing what it was going to be like. Brought it up into Vermont for a camping trip. Those things blew my mind, man. So baby seltzer is where things are going. You know, I mean, it's already there now, but there needs to be more.
You tried the
variety
dry
from
hop
craft.
seltzer? The dry hop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I loved it. It was delicious. I think I drank the 4 of them in that one afternoon, and I loved every minute of it. It's awesome.
Yeah,
So
and
my
I think
hatred.
there's ways to make it even better. I think there's ways to make it like good. I don't think seltzer's at the level, dude. I'm telling you, I
You're
almost
gonna pitch
died last
Luscious
week
again?
from these seltzers.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna do it again. He's gonna do it again.
You know, fuck you guys. All right.
So Taylor, I am known as the person who hates seltzers more than anything. The citrus haze from Stillwater is the
Yeah.
one
Yeah,
you're
that was the
talking
one.
about. I have bought a case of that. It is
It's so good.
absolutely good. It really felt like to me, it felt like a session IPA.
Yeah.
Like thank you. Like I was like, if you could make this, if you're gonna tell me you could make a session just call it a session IPA. It
Yeah.
would have sold 10 times as much. A
Yeah.
session IPA that was less than 100 calories and all that. Just call it that, and
Yeah.
people would have loved it.
That's
You know,
what
the
that's
the
what
only
brewer-
difference though.
But that's what like brewers don't get. Like they're not marketers. You know, it's like the foreign object that put out the dry hop Pilsner and wanted to call it a Pilsner. He should have just called it a fucking IPA and been done with it. It would have been fucking sold great. It's like
Yeah.
putting out a Kolsch, a dry hop Kolsch, and calling it a Kolsch. You're fucking killing it. Like you're
Hey,
killing the brand.
There's a lot of breweries using Kolsch strains for their IPAs now because they
Oh yeah, Josh, what's that
try
like?
'em out.
I don't know. Ask him, friend.
Oh no! Oh God.
Oof. Oof.
I was just referring back to our collab 2 years ago.
I know
when we
you
did the
I know
Best
you
Kolsch, and nobody gave a fuck. It was like 2 hype breweries, and then we put out a Kolsch, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
They were probably so hyped.
No one was hyped. They were all mad as shit.
No, I
They were
mean, like
"What the
waiting for
fuck?"
it. They probably logged into their Instagrams that day and they were like, "What the fuck?"
They were waiting for like midnight snack to eat smoothie and just
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yo, let's do a Kolsch."
It did so well,
Yeah.
hype.
And you know how
that
many-
That's what they brought to a
it's-
beer fest.
Yeah.
I worked at beer fest, and I was like, "Oh shit, Imprint's here. Let me go see what they got." I was like, "Wait, there's an Imprint and Abomination beer." I started being like, "Okay, I'm not even gonna set up my jockey boxes. Yo, can I have one of those?" And I drank it. And I was like, "Oh, it's a Kolsch. Cool. I like
It was
it."
my favorite. It was honestly my favorite easy drinking collab. 'Cause it was double dry hop. I thought it was great.
Hey,
But,
dude, a good Kolsch, man. There's nothing like it.
It's
It
100%
was the fastest I
refreshing.
drank through like a collab I ever made. It was so fucking
Single-
delicious,
single
and
cut.
it was just great because no one gave a single fuck about that beer.
Single Cut did it best. They came out with hop sounds, and Kolsch was like you had to have a magnifying glass to see the word Kolsch, but they called it hop sounds in big freaking bold lettering.
Hmm.
It sold like crazy.
That's the marketing you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you remember Bro Beer Fraz was originally a Kolsch, then I got changed to a Session IPA, and how'd that work out for that beer?
Think if it was called a Kolsch, how much worse it would have been. Oh,
Yeah, but Session IPA is another bad one. Like the only one
Yeah.
that sells is All Day. So you know what? Don't even fucking get involved.
Well,
just
that
call
was
it
what Bro
IPA.
Beer was supposed to be.
100%
I had a
IPA.
feeling. I had a feeling. It was the same feeling I had about this seltzer craze.
Jesus Christ. Let the guest promote himself, for God's sakes, man. This is your home. Jesus, you're like,
I'm promoting beers that flopped right now, guys. Okay,
Yo,
go get yourself. You see a Bro Beer, grab it off a shelf. 2 years old. It's probably still sitting there. Get you some.
It's in the back room on the
Yo,
floor.
that would be a great show. That would be a great show. Beers that flop.
It's probably sitting warm.
It's in their parking lot next to their dumpster.
Oh, God.
Rabid.
I'm sorry,
JJ
Josh.
shoots rockets in his parking lot. No, it's okay. It's fine. Cry myself to sleep. About Pro Beer all the time. It's
I
fine.
wish I had
Worst
the
label
money
we ever
for
made.
Bluetooth.
That beer deserved to die.
Oh, you showed me that
totally
label.
fine.
That label was incredible. It's like an artifact. It's an artifact.
it's unbelievable. You come on. You don't, Taylor. You don't have any that you regret. There isn't one that you're just like,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
that beer
Oh,
needs to die.
Oh, trust
Let's
me.
hear
Yeah.
it. Let's hear it. This
Oof.
is like taxi cab confessions for
wow.
brewers.
Oh man, the first stout we ever brewed up in Southington, we had a stuck mash, and we could not get it to run off, and it was like hours had gone by and it was not moving. We were stirring it, we were trying everything we could, nothing. I think we mashed for like 5 or 6 hours, and
Jesus Christ.
ended up we had to release the stout because we were so new. We needed to start having money coming in. We were happy with it, but we would have preferred it be a little bit better. It was called Dark Matter, and it was a milk stout, and it just did not hit the mark. Yeah, but
You got to have those to learn.
yeah,
Yeah.
or the ones that go down the drain, that nobody hears about. Those are the ones where you really learn.
Yeah, they make you a better brewer. So that's why I like laughing about stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
There's
Without those, you just get stagnant. I feel.
nothing like failure to me.
Yep. 100%. Totally agree.
Where's Fraz at? The guy running the show. He's on
He's got
his
a
left.
He's got a noose around his dog's neck. Uh-oh, Pete is gonna be after me.
For the love of God, JJ, no, I don't. Our last topic of the day is something that I found personally interesting. Is Dogfish Miami is nearly ready.
Wow.
A 11,000 square foot, 6K beer barrel production facility with a DJ booths and a Florida fruit orchard in it. I could go into all of the sound system and DJ booth and renovated kitchen based on small local cuisine. Already has unveiled their new Star Pucker IPA from Florida's Starfruit. But what do we think about this? It's one thing to go to a different market and to open up a tap room. It's another thing to, I don't think it's pandering, but to just change yourself to fit your environment. What do we think?
That big Sam Adams money.
True.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't the first time they've tried to do this either. They tried to franchise, I forget, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago. They tried to open up a bunch of restaurants down south in like Georgia, I want to say. They opened up 2. They tried to franchise out. Didn't work out. I don't even know if they still exist anymore. And if they do, they're owned like directly by the people and not by Dogfish Head. So I think this is just them trying to, again, what we were talking about earlier, explore the market. Where are we going? What's happening now? So they were always pioneers, and I think they feel that they've been left behind and they need to figure out what's next. They have been going heavy into distilling. They've been doing a lot of those like mixed cocktail drinks, which I think could be a pretty good market. I think they're a pretty big market in Connecticut here. I see them all over those High Noon.
Yeah.
The vodkas.
Ready
I
to
don't even
drink
know
stuff.
how they're.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a mixed drink. So I think they're just trying to figure out their way. I think they realize that small market like craft spots is what people want. So a bar, brewery, especially in like Miami's about to blow the fuck up.
It is, man.
People have been locked the fuck in their house for a year. I think any brewery, brew pub, restaurant, anywhere that is a place for you to leave your fucking house and go drink is going to be huge. So yeah, man, fuck, do it. DJ it up. Give these
People are moving.
motherfuckers Dogfish Head, tequila, get them ready to go.
It just doesn't feel like Sam though. You know? It just doesn't feel like Sam.
I agree with that. It's like
It kind of does though. Did you guys ever read his book? Because that to me seems like what a straight businessman would do, and that's what he is. He is like an adventurous, smart businessman looking for what's next. He's not just bound to beer, and I think that's what a lot of purists want Dogfish to be. But fuck, we're dumping how much shit in beer? He sees where it's going too.
I'll be honest with you.
That's a good point.
His gin is spot on, man. I love their gin.
Their vodka is fantastic. I used to love going down there and getting sampler flights of their vodka, everything back when they were distilling at their original spot. You know, I just think that they've realized that at the size that they are and what they're doing, that they cannot just be beer, because breweries that size are not succeeding.
Look at Sam Adams. They barely brew any beer anymore.
Yeah.
They make seltzer.
They make seltzer. They make twisted tea. Angry Orchard. You know, it's all other stuff.
Well, they're becoming like the conglomerate that AB InBev did, slowly but surely. But hearing about Dogfish Head moving to Miami, it's not wildly similar, but it reminds me of when Stone Brewing tried to open a location in Germany, and they were like, we're gonna go down, or not down. We're gonna go over to Germany. We're gonna bring our flavor to craft beer. And I think within the first year, they shut it down. It just didn't work. So I don't know how Dogfish is going to resonate with the people in Florida. But like Josh said, people are going ham in Florida right now. A lot of people are moving to Florida, not even just retirement age folks, like younger people.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe they're seeing something that we're not. But
Germany is also a incredibly crazy place to go try and open up a brewery.
Yeah.
That is
A lot of tradition.
that's ego. That's all
traditional,
ego.
yeah.
Man.
That takes some fucking balls because they opened a spot in South Carolina, I believe, Stone.
Richmond.
No, it's Richmond, Virginia.
Or yeah.
Or not-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Richmond.
Yeah, no, it is. I've been there. Wow, just spouting off random shit. Place is beautiful though.
Yeah.
That's still there. As
Yeah,
far as I
but you know what? Even though with Stone, they called it, I think, Stone, wherever, Berlin Stone or something like that.
Yep.
Like in Virginia, they call it Stone, Virginia. And it has a huge core base. And what they did really, really smartly is that Virginia was a high chain restaurant area at that time. And they first thing first just got the industry and bought lines and had mandates in all the chain stores. And as soon as they did that, it instantly hooked in. And they also kept being like, this is beer from us for you, not from somebody else, not from somewhere else. And it was an everywhere. And they made it like almost like a regional thing. I forget, we got a couple beers
That's cool.
from Richmond that literally said like, this is like Stone, Virginia on it, not Stone. Like, no. We're we are them,
Separate.
but we also are separate. Like, and
This is fresh.
They
This
were-
is close. I mean, Evil
Yeah.
Twin, NYC.
Urban South.
Everybody does it.
Yeah.
Other half, fucking blah blah blee blue. Like, it's what everybody's doing. Because everybody wants to be hyper local now.
Yeah.
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 That's what it is. It's
What a
going
180.
back to your neighborhood bar.
Well, I think the big brands saw like the tree houses drawing people in, and then there were a lot of like replicas of trying to do that treehouse model, bringing in their local audiences. So now you have these big names trying to do the same thing. It's not easy when you're, like a Verizon. You're a monster. It's hard to make moves when you're that big a company. But see what happens.
You think that, but there was a couple articles I was looking at for today, and one of them was Devil's Backbone is a huge seltzer and RTD market in Virginia. And when you
Yeah,
think
but Devil's Backbone was a brewery prior to that, though. Devil's
Sure.
Backbone had a local. I
Oh,
remember when I was down in Virginia, and before AB bought that shit, man, it was fucking everywhere. Like, that was all anybody drank. If they were drinking like any craft beer, they were like, you got to go to Devil's Backbone. And the beer was great.
Beautiful spot. Beautiful spot.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is an absolutely beautiful.
But that's
spot,
what they
it's-
did well, was scooping up breweries that were on the cusp like that.
Yeah, and then you can still maintain regional
Market.
hegemony or something like that. It's like, no, we're still your John too. It's just, the accounting department. Remember Wicked Weed's freaking videos and shit? We are still Wicked Weed just because Jane in accounting is no longer Jane in accounting,
Yeah, but
doesn't mean we're not still the same guys brewing that.
that was the ultimate, anti-establishment brewery, honestly. And for the establishment to buy them was such a kick in the nuts.
Money talks.
Yeah, man. I am always of two minds of this. I came into the beer industry from the finance industry, and I constantly was like thinking, every business dreams of getting to a size that somebody monster buys you.
Right.
And then you don't have to work there, or you don't have to every business dreams of this except for in craft beer.
What
They're
about
like, no.
what do you guys
and then
think
they
about
buy you out, and
Goose?
then you open up a seltzer.
Is it called Luscious by any chance?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. What do you guys think about
to keep that on the down low, bro?
The Goose Island acquisition. I think from a consumer perspective, you know, nobody would really know. It's completely transparent acquisition, and the product hasn't suffered at all. So I think that was a good investment on their behalf. And
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the barrel aging program has still remained, strong, and then
Not in
make
Philly,
all the
but
mass produced stuff at the AB breweries, and they have distribution. They have better distribution. It was a win-win. Yeah.
yeah,
Also, though, when it comes to PA, because of our wonderfully archaic laws, they don't send us Goose Island from North Carolina. They only send us Goose Island from Chicago still, just
Mm.
due to
Well,
the
what
way
about
the
Goose
contracts
Island
are set.
from Philly?
Well, that's gone, man.
They
That's
were.
close, yeah.
Well, they were.
Yeah.
I know. I was approached to buy that facility, and I said, I don't know how the fuck much money you think that I have.
Yeah.
Like, it's got to be like 20 fucking million dollars, like at least. Have any of you guys been there? I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, sure, are you paying for it? Like, yo, let's do it. Let's go.
It's a herd economy. I'll take 13. I'll take 13.
Like $1,300. Like, that's what I got for you right now. Let's do it. But you know what's weird though, talking about like, so why have brands like Taylor and I's succeeded in this market that only wants hyper local, hyper fresh? You know, why has the whole 12% business model succeeded during this?
So my thinking for the 12% model, and you guys are the ones who will know that, but 12% model feels like to me the incubator model in a tech corporation, where you get the tech incubators where you come in and they set you up with an office and they set you up with a lab and they set you up with all the infrastructure for your idea to succeed. If it succeeds, the lab gets a portion of your profits out. And if it doesn't, then you close your doors and you realize it doesn't succeed. And I think it's an innovation that is just a step ahead of where it would be. I mean, like my ass, I can't brew for damn anything. But if I had a truckload of money, that's what I would do. I would build the most beautiful contract system in the world I could afford, like 12% imports. And I would be like, cool, who's the hypiest guy I can find and come and brew on my system? If your shit works, cool, keep brewing. If it doesn't work, kick rocks, we tried, kid. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a great model. And then once you get to a size that you want to get to, you can then go open back a brick and mortar.
Yep. Yeah. No, that's a great take. And I think the part that Josh and I probably think about often is how do you not fall behind when it comes to hype? How do you keep putting out new products that still are Abomination or still are Skygazer, but are still new and cutting edge? And do you rebrand? Do you rename yourself? Do you completely start from the ground up under, a new guise, but keep making different products? How do you stay in that spotlight for as long as you can? And I mean, when we're talking about Dogfish Head, when I got into craft beer, it was like Lagunitas and Stone and Rogue and those guys, and they had a long time at being sort of the kings in the market when it came to craft. Now I think the life cycle of a brewery is much shorter, and that's terrifying. So 12%, they have the facility. No matter who the brand is, they're going to be pumping out beer. It's up to guys like us to figure out how to stay relevant and, stay in front of what's happening in the market. It's going to be a challenge. But
Well,
I think the tech comparison is perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? On that bombshell, since it was positive about me, I think it's time for us to wrap the show. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Arrogance and Ales. I'm Faraz.
I never
That's
know which way
JJ.
to go. Josh, what's up? Peace.
Yeah, that's Josh. Taylor, you're the last one.
All
Say
right.
good night.
Yeah, it's good night, everybody. Thanks for having me. This was a blast. I'll come back anytime you guys want me to come on.